The story is told about a man living in Yerushalayim in the early 1900s who was having a very difficult time sustaining his family on a financial level. At that time, the situation for the Jews living in Israel was very, very difficult. There were chalutzim who were just trying to keep their head above water, trying to cultivate the land. There were other Jews who had lived in Israel for generations. And financially, it was a very turbulent time for those individuals. And this man had a very hard time putting food on the table. And he had one son who had traveled to America and had become very successful. He's interacted in business and became a very successful person financially. And this son would send letters to his father telling him about how he was doing. And the son would tell the father that he had gone off the path, that he was no longer observant, but that he had desired to give his father money on a regular basis in order to sustain the family in Israel, since he was doing so well here in America. And the man was very distraught, because he didn't know whether to accept the money from his son or whether to send it back. What message would he be sending his son if he would be accepting this money, in which his son himself had told him that there were times that he had earned much of the money that he was giving to his father by being involved in business dealings on Shabbos. And so here the father was contemplating the fact that my son made this money by violating Shabbos. How could I possibly accept this money? And what message am I sending to him if I accept this money and spend it? And so this man, without knowing what to do, went to the chief rabbi of Israel at the time, Rav Kook Kook Zatzal, and he told him of the situation, and he asked advice, what is it that he should do? And Rav Kook responded to him as follows. Rav Kook said, it is obvious that you describe that your child has gone off the derech, he's gone off the path. He's not keeping any of the mitzvahs anymore, he is no longer observant. Yet, it seems that there is one mitzvah that he's still trying to keep. And that is the mitzvah of Kibud Aveim, the mitzvah that we find, that mitzvah which we find in our Parsha and Parshas Yisro, one of the Aseres HaDibros, one of the fundamental 10 commandments that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave to us. And here, says Rav Kook to this man, your son wants to keep at least this one mitzvah, and you're stopping him from doing so. Obviously, the man took the advice of Rav Kook and he accepted the money from his son. And I think that there is a broader lesson for all of us when it comes to this idea, to this message, and that is, we should never close the door on anyone. That there are times that we look at people and they may not be as observant as we are. They may have strayed far away from the path of the tradition of our fathers and their fathers and our families. Yet, it's important to leave the door open and not to laugh at their attempt to even be involved in one mitzvah, be it giving tzedakah or another act of chesed or coming to shul to say kaddish for a parent, because that one mitzvah can literally be a life link to be able to bring them back into the fold. It could literally be a lifesaver that will allow them to feel connected still to the Jewish community and to the Jewish people. And so as we look at the giving of the Torah this Shabbos, and we obviously evaluate how we are doing in our mitzvah observance, and sometimes we look at other people in their mitzvah observance, let's keep this idea in mind. Let's make sure that we always keep the door open for others and encourage them in mitzvah observance. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.